Welcome to the Shadow of History channel. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out more videos like this one. Behind a simple holiday apartment in Portugal, a devastating mystery began in 2007 when 3-year-old Madeleine McCann vanished into the night, leaving only a haunting witness report of a man carrying a child away toward a forever silent horizon. Facing an armored Israeli bulldozer in the ancient streets of Jenin, a brave Palestinian child flashes a defiant sign of peace during the 2002 military operation, proving that even amidst crushing destruction, the human spirit refuses to break. Driven by a dark history of domestic pain, a Texas woman finally took a stand against her husband's violence in this tragic case, fulfilling a grim promise that his next strike would be the very last time he ever touched her. In a shocking display of senseless violence, 75-year-old Noor Hussein brutally took his wife's life in 2011 because she failed to serve meat at dinner, turning a quiet household into the scene of an unforgivable and a truly horrific crime. 41 years after he disappeared into the shadows of Buenos Aires, the remains of Diego Fernandez Lima have finally been uncovered, yet the cold truth of his murder likely remains buried in time, leaving a family with only bittersweet closure. In a 1946 New York hospital, a stunned father collapses under the sheer weight of a triple surprise as nurses present 3 new lives he never expected in an era before modern technology could ever reveal the secrets of the womb. High above the rugged landscape of Chiapas, Mexico, photographer Antonio Turok captured the celestial magic of a total solar eclipse in 1991, freezing a moment where the moon momentarily stole the sun's fire and cast the earth into midday shadow. While Michael Jordan dominates a game of ping pong during the 1992 Barcelona Olympics, a legendary Larry Bird is seen slumped on the floor amongst toys and beer, showing a raw and unpolished side of the world's greatest basketball dream team. Imprisoned in the darkness of Auschwitz in 1941, Polish priest Maximilian Kolbe performed a final act of radical love by trading his life for a stranger's, eventually meeting a lethal end that would lead to his canonization as a saint. 2 unsuspecting children stumbled upon a buried treasure in 1978 when they unearthed a sleek 1974 Ferrari dyno hidden beneath the dirt of their own backyard, sparking a bizarre mystery that would eventually reveal a deep and calculated insurance fraud. Holding a portrait of her younger, weary self, Florence Thompson revisits the iconic 1936 migrant mother photograph during a 1978 interview, finally connecting a face that came to define the Great Depression with the real woman who actually lived it. Defying the rigid gender norms of 1924, a young Frida Kahlo stands boldly in a family portrait while wearing a tailored men's suit, offering an early glimpse into the rebellious identity of an artist who would eventually captivate the entire world. After escaping to freedom in 1842, Harriet Jacobs spent 7 long years hidden in a tiny attic watching her children from afar, before publishing a powerful 1861 memoir that exposed the horrific truth of slavery and changed history forever. After vanishing from an Oregon party, 17-year-old Kelly Disney remained missing for a decade until her skull was discovered in an abandoned car, leading to a macabre discovery by a man who unknowingly cleaned the remains before realizing their identity. The world watched in stunned silence on December 25, 1991, as the Soviet flag was lowered over the Kremlin for the final time, marking the end of a superpower and the birth of a new era for the Russian people. Clinging to the hope of a new dawn, weary survivors of the Titanic, I scramble up the sides of the Carpathia in 1912, leaving the icy Atlantic graves of their loved ones behind as they begin the slow process of healing. In the crumbling remains of Loubain in 1945, Joseph Goebbels awards a young 16-year-old soldier the Iron Cross, a haunting image of a regime using children to fight a desperate and losing battle in the final days of the war. Stripping away the traditional formalities of royalty, King Frederick IX of Denmark had revealed his extensive maritime tattoos in 1951, showcasing a king whose heart belonged as much to the rugged sea and bodybuilding as it did to his throne. In the gritty streets of Glasgow during 1971, a brave undercover policeman lunges forward to intercept a terrifying razor attack, putting his own life on the line to keep the peace during a period of rising urban violence and unrest. Long before she walked the halls of global power, a young Hillary Clinton enjoyed a moment of student life at Wellesley College in 1969, graduating with honors and a painted face that masked the ambitious political future waiting just ahead. Framed within the windows of a doomed New York brownstone, dozens of elegant models posed for Ormond Gigli in 1960, creating a masterpiece of fashion photography that would eventually earn millions and become one of the most profitable images ever. Under the bright lights of a 1979 film set, Robin Williams and Shelley Duvall bring a beloved cartoon world to life as Popeye and Olive Oyl sharing a whimsical moment of creative energy that would define their unique cinematic collaboration. Stepping into a lifetime of partnership, Fred and Joanne Rogers smile on their 1952 wedding day, unaware that they would eventually build a beloved neighborhood that taught generations of children the true value of kindness, empathy, and gentle love. Basking in the soft light of a 1949 afternoon, a proud father cradles his child with a look of pure devotion, capturing a timeless scene of domestic peace and the quiet joy that defines the universal bond between a parent and child. Standing tall with a sense of patriotic hope, an American mother and her young daughter hold their flag high during the early 1900s, representing a generation of families striving to build a future in a rapidly changing and growing nation. High above the bustling streets of New York City in 1932, daring ironworkers sit casually on a steel beam for lunch, creating an iconic image of human grit and the fearless labor required to build the world's most famous skyline. Deep within a workshop in 1974, engineers and artists painstakingly assemble the mechanical giant known as Bruce for the movie Jaws, unknowingly creating a cinematic monster that would terrify audiences and change the landscape of summer blockbusters forever. The massive hull of the RMS Titanic slides into the waters of Belfast for the first time in 1911, a moment of immense industrial pride that marked the beginning of a journey destined to end in one of history's tragedies. Settled into the quiet comfort of Tuxedo Park in 1907, the legendary Mark Twain shares a playful moment with a tiny pet kitten, revealing a soft and whimsical side to the man whose sharp wit defined American literature for decades. Navigating the scarred streets of Berlin in 1950, a resilient woman pushes a pram past the ruins of war, embodying the quiet strength of a city determined to rebuild its future and provide a peaceful life for its next generation. Treading carefully across the sands of Normandy in 1944, American nurses marched toward field hospitals to tend to the broken bodies of soldiers serving as the unsung heroes of the front lines during the Auschwitz liberation of occupied Western Europe. Stepping off a massive B-17 Flying Fortress in 1944, these pioneering female pilots proved their incredible skill and courage breaking barriers in the sky to support the war effort and pave the way for future generations of women aviators. In a striking portrait from 1909, the Cheyenne leader Wolf Robe gazes into the lens with a profound dignity, his presence serving as a powerful reminder of the enduring strength and a rich cultural heritage of the indigenous peoples of America. In the emotional wake of 1945, a mother's face glows with an overwhelming sense of relief that the global conflict has finally ended, knowing that no more sons will have to perish on distant battlefields in the name of war. Captured in a candid moment of pure happiness back in 1987, this young pizza enthusiast reminds us that some passions start early, celebrating a simple slice of joy that remains a universal favorite for people of all ages and backgrounds. In the late spring of 1952, Ernest Hemingway stands tall with his favorite shotgun, embodying the rugged and adventurous persona that defined both his legendary literary works and his restless life as a world-renowned sportsman and seeker of truth. Amidst the suburban backdrop of 1987, these young students receive a somber lesson in gun safety, reflecting a specific moment in American culture where the responsibility of handling firearms was introduced to the next generation at a very early age. Standing amidst the classic architecture of Washington, D.C. in 1924, a dedicated police officer keeps watch over the Capitol, representing a bygone era of law enforcement characterized by wool uniforms, strict discipline, and a growing sense of civic duty. Surrounded by the grand shadows of Penn Station in 1958, a sea of commuters rushes through the terminal, decaptured by Louis Stettner in a moment that perfectly distills the frantic energy and anonymous beauty of mid-century life in New York. Showcasing the bold and intricate grooming habits of a bygone era, this vintage photograph celebrates the art of the mustache, reminding us how personal style has always been a powerful way for individuals to express their unique character and status. Winding through the morning mist of London in the 1960s, a dedicated milkman makes his rounds, providing a nostalgic glimpse into a vanished way of life, where fresh supplies arrived at the doorstep with a friendly smile and a whistle. In the stark light of the 1955 Nevada desert photographer Loomis Dean captured the haunting aftermath of an atomic test, revealing the terrifying power of a new age that forever changed the landscape of global politics and modern warfare. For just 25 cents, a driver in 1976 Seattle could charge their electric AMC Gremlin at a curbside station, showcasing an early and ambitious vision for sustainable transportation that was decades ahead of the modern electric vehicle revolution we see today. Leaping over barbed wire in a desperate bid for freedom, East German Guard Konrad Schumann defected to West Berlin in 1961, creating an enduring symbol of the human longing for liberty against the cold backdrop of the dividing Iron Curtain. After over 57 years of forced separation, North and South Korean relatives share a heart-wrenching goodbye at a 2010 family reunion, knowing this brief moment of physical connection might be the last time they ever hold each other's hands. In the vibrant heart of 1973, London Michael Caine enjoys a tender moment with his wife Shakira and their daughter Natasha, offering a rare and intimate look at the private world of a global film icon during his cinematic prime. In a shameful display of colonial prejudice, a Filipino baby and her family were exhibited in a human zoo in 1906 New York, serving as a dark reminder of the dehumanizing spectacles that once took place in the name of entertainment. Centuries of tradition come alive in this 1905 scene as Palestinians carefully grind coffee beans by hand, preserving a rich sensory heritage and a communal ritual that has connected people across the Middle East for countless generations through shared flavor. Standing beside his average-sized family in 1935, Robert Wadlow, the tallest man in history, towers over his surroundings with a gentle presence, reminding the world of the incredible diversity of the human form and the challenges of being unique. In a heartwarming display of real-world kindness, legendary puppeteer Jim Henson helps an elderly woman across a busy street in 1982, proving that the man who taught millions about all compassion through his characters lived those same values every single day. Lined up along the shores of Bikini Atoll. In 1946, a massive array of cameras and photographers wait in anticipation to record the blinding flash of a nuclear test, capturing the dawn of an era that would redefine global security. Navigating the bustling cobblestone streets of 1898 Paris, a humble street vendor offers his wares to the passing crowds, embodying the timeless spirit of the city's working class during the beautiful and transformative years of the vibrant Belle Epoque. Long before he became a global rock sensation, a young Freddie Mercury celebrated his 4th birthday in 1950 Zanzibar wearing a traditional prayer cap and garland in a quiet moment of childhood joy that preceded his legendary rise to fame. High above the waters of San Francisco in 1935, workers balanced precariously on the rising steel of the Golden Gate Bridge, risking everything to build an engineering marvel that would eventually become one of the most recognizable landmarks in the world. Captivating audiences in 1904, the famous circus performer Frank Slivers Oakley perfected his one-man baseball game using his incredible physical comedy and expressive face to bring laughter to thousands as one of the era's most beloved and talented entertainers. Perched high on the steel framework of the St. John's Bridge in 1931, Portland workers take a daring lunch break, demonstrating the incredible nerve and physical labor required to connect communities and build the essential infrastructure of modern American life. In a 1908 field in France, the experimental airplane designed by Colonel Dorand sits motionless, a grounded reminder that the path to human flight was paved with many ambitious failures before the sky was finally conquered by those who dared to dream. Amidst the melodic hum of a 1955 London afternoon, a focused customer retreats into a private, listening booth at the HMV shop on Oxford Street to experience the latest record releases before making a very personal musical choice. Engineered for the swift mobility of the French military in 1896, this ingenious folding bicycle allowed soldiers to carry their transport across rugged terrain, representing a clever leap forward in the tactical evolution of early 20th century scouting technology. Radiating confidence and teamwork on the court, the each way, women of Miami University's 1905 liberal arts basketball team pose for a historic portrait capturing the early spirit of female athleticism long before the sport became a global cultural phenomenon. Within the unique cultural landscape of East Berlin, in 1973, Bernd Haydn captured the unexpected elegance of a poodle breeder show where meticulously groomed dogs and their owners gathered to celebrate a very refined sense of suburban competition. Adorned with the traditional gear of his heritage, a proud Bisharan soldier from Egypt stands for a portrait. In the 1870s, his steady gaze and striking presence offering a rare window into the desert warriors of the past. A sense of profound tragedy haunts the Arkansas wilderness after a man was charged with the heartbreaking murders of a young couple who were simply enjoying a family hiking trip with their two small daughters when violence struck. In a display of impressive manual coordination workers at Olney's of Luton carry towering stacks of straw boaters to the packing rooms in 1933, fulfilling the daily demand for the most fashionable headwear in all of Great Britain. Demonstrating an incredible level of trust and calm, a keeper at the Los Angeles Zoo carefully bathes a massive African lion around 1940, revealing the intimate and often dangerous bonds formed between humans and the world's most powerful predators. To master the rugged appearance of Jake LaMotta for the 1979 film Raging Bull, Robert De Niro used these raw Polaroid tests to experiment with cotton stuffing, showcasing the extreme physical dedication required to transform into a boxing legend. A tangled web of early communication stretches across the sky in 1887 as hundreds of telephone wires darken a New York City street, illustrating the chaotic and rapid birth of the modern connected world before the lines went underground. Standing beside a primitive yet charming prototype of R2-D2 in 1975, a young George Lucas prepares to launch a space saga that would eventually redefine cinema and ignite the imaginations of millions of fans across the entire galaxy. In a 1935 London examination, doctors observe a Padang woman employed by the Bertram Mills Circus, reflecting a time when traditional cultural practices like neck elongation were viewed with a mixture of medical curiosity and problematic public spectacle. Caught in a moment of effortless cool, Sammy Davis Jr. shares a laugh with friends in 1965 New York, a candid image that captures the magnetic charisma of a legendary performer during the height of the vibrant civil rights era. High in the scenic mountains of Washington, around 1927, a fearless woman offers a snack to a wild bear, a charming yet precarious interaction that reflects a much more casual and unregulated relationship with nature in the early century. Soaring over the fields of Maryland in 1912, Lieutenant Thomas DeWitt Milling tests a Curtiss military aircraft for the United States Army, marking the daring infancy of aerial warfare and the brave pilots who first mastered the open sky. In a clever 1926 marketing stunt, two women stride through the streets wearing elegant cloaks to advertise new Neverladder stockings, proving that the desire for a durable fashion and eye-catching promotion is a truly timeless part of the industry. Seconds after this 1975 photo was taken atop Morro Rock in California, these brothers were struck by a massive bolt of lightning, a terrifying brush with death that left the younger sibling with severe burns and a miraculous survival. Framed by the tools of her vibrant trade, Frida Kahlo sits before her easel. In 1951, her resilient spirit and creative fire burning bright even, as she navigated the physical pain that deeply informed her most iconic and surreal masterpieces. Peer inside the cramped and mechanical heart of the German U-boat 110 in 1918, where these rare photographs reveal the claustrophobic reality of submarine warfare that prowled the deep oceans during the final stages of the First World War. In a delightful 1930 scene of zookeeper devotion, a group of thirsty penguins receives a refreshing shower from a simple watering can proving that even the most exotic animals appreciate a little extra care on a warm afternoon. Heavyweight champion Rocky Marciano shares a tender moment of quiet pride with his mother during the 1950s, revealing the soft and devoted heart of a man who was otherwise known for his unstoppable power inside the boxing ring. Driven by the hardships of the Great Depression in 1930s, New York resourceful children use makeshift tools to fish for undropped coins through street grates, turning a desperate search for survival into a testament of youthful urban grit. Reflecting the somber mood of a world on the brink of conflict, a sad dog waits patiently with its owner in 1939 London as the city prepares for the looming shadows and uncertain future of the Second World War. Drenched in a long-awaited downpour, a joyful Texas man celebrates the end of a devastating drought. In 1951, his ecstatic expression, capturing the profound relief of a community whose survival depended entirely on the mercy of the clouds. Battling against a fierce winter gale on December 19, 1945, these determined ladies struggle through a New York snowstorm, their resilience echoing the strength of a nation finally moving forward into the first peaceful winter after the war. Immersed in the energy of a 1980s Polish music festival, a dedicated fan holds his recorder high to capture the cassette tape of the performance, preserving a fleeting moment of cultural freedom during a period of significant social change. The haunting gaze of a young survivor in 1945 Nagasaki serves as a silent and powerful witness to the devastating aftermath of the atomic bomb, reminding the world of the human cost found within the ashes of total war. In a stunning 1900 portrait by Franka Reinhardt, an Omaha man displays a look of profound dignity and strength, here representing the rich cultural heritage and enduring spirit of Native American nations at the turn of the new century. The incredible chemistry between Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno shines through on the 1979 set of The Incredible Hulk as the two actors bring the tragic struggle of David Banner and his powerful alter ego to life. Gathered at the tidal basin in 1922, a group of photographers eagerly capture the ethereal beauty of blooming cherry blossoms in Washington, D.C., documenting a seasonal tradition that continues to draw thousands of admirers to the capital. Exuding the raw power and golden charisma of a rock god, Robert Plant is captured in 1971 by Ken Regan, perfectly embodying the legendary energy of Led Zeppelin during the absolute peak of their global musical influence and fame. A young girl navigates her stylish toy pedal car through the 1920s with her loyal dog perched on the running board, capturing a whimsical and charming moment of childhood play from the early days of the motorized era. In a perfectly timed 1966 photograph, a man experiences a moment of profound irony that speaks for itself, capturing the humorous and often unpredictable ways that life can imitate art in the most public and unexpected of places. After his shoes were stolen in 1912, American Indian athlete Jim Thorpe found a mismatched pair in the trash and went on to win 2 Olympic gold medals, proving that true greatness is defined by grit rather than gear. The simple joy of nature is captured in this whimsical 1958 photograph of a smiling horse, a light-hearted moment that reminds us of the expressive and often humorous connections we share with the animals that live alongside us. In the midst of the mid-70s, a man finds himself in legal trouble for growing marijuana, a candid image that reflects the shifting social attitudes and the evolving legal landscape regarding drug enforcement during a decade of cultural rebellion. A young couple drives their vintage car past the massive Balanced Rock in Colorado Springs during 1920, capturing the early spirit of American road trips and the timeless wonder of exploring the nation's most spectacular and unique natural landmarks. Dressed in their finest holiday costumes, these children celebrate a whimsical 1960s Easter. capturing the colorful and slightly surreal suburban traditions that defined family life and seasonal festivities for a generation of young people growing up in America. Dangling fearlessly from a massive industrial crane in 1930, a construction worker helps assemble the Empire State Building, demonstrating the breathtaking courage and physical strength required to build the tallest skyscraper the world had ever seen at that time. Finding a moment of recreation amidst the tension of 1939, a group of Red Cross nurses enjoy a spirited game of soccer, showing that even those on the front lines of service need time for joy and physical activity. Gathered around a humble table in 1917, an Irish family shares a simple meal of potatoes and milk, a poignant image that illustrates the quiet resilience and domestic reality of rural life during a period of significant national struggle. Capturing the essence of a 1960s leisure, this candid photograph of an all-inclusive vacation getaway reflects the growing popularity of organized travel and the vibrant, carefree atmosphere that defined the mid-century pursuit of the perfect family holiday experience. In a beautifully timed 1955 photograph titled "A Few Seconds Before Happiness," a young boy waits in breathless anticipation for a surprise perfectly capturing the pure and universal magic of a childhood moment filled with wonder and impending joy. In a haunting display of 1960s racial hatred, segregationists in New Orleans taunt 6-year-old Ruby Bridges with a black doll in a coffin, testing the incredible courage of a young girl as she integrated an all-white elementary school. The complex social history of 1916 San Francisco is revealed in the wedding of 12-year-old Lily Chen to a much older merchant, a sobering image that documents the difficult realities and cultural pressures faced by young immigrant girls. Showcasing the whimsical and creative photography of the 1950s, this charming image of a dog dressed as a man with a cat on its lap reminds us that the love for humorous animal portraits is a long-standing tradition. Electric and revolutionary Jimi Hendrix drapes himself in the vibrant colors of 1967, his very presence signaling a seismic shift in music and culture as he prepared to change the sound of the electric guitar for all of eternity. The resilient spirit of Elizabeth Plain shines through in this 1886 portrait, documenting the life of a woman who survived 4 widowhoods and the harsh conditions of northern Queensland to raise her 3 children against all odds of the frontier. Long before leading a nation through global crisis, a young Franklin Delano Roosevelt poses in 1884, his innocent expression giving no hint of the formidable leader who would one day change the course of Americans, history, and the world. Tension and pride fill the room in August 1969 as Neil Armstrong's parents watch the flickering television screen, witnessing their son take his historic first steps on the moon and achieving a dream that once seemed completely impossible. Soaring high above the streets of Barcelona since 1915, the Tibidabo monorail continues to offer a breathtaking journey through the sky, serving as a living testament to early 20th century engineering and the city's enduring charm for all visitors. Amidst the ruins of 1945, Berlin Russian soldiers find a moment of unexpected beauty as they play a piano in a wrecked living room, a powerful contrast between the destruction of war and the enduring human need for music. Returning to the secret annex in 1960, a somber Otto Frank stands in the empty attic where his family once hid the sole survivor of a tragedy that his daughter Anne's diary would eventually share with the entire world. Capturing a rare and casual moment of presidential life, Ronald Reagan is seen wearing sweatpants while working aboard Air Force One, offering a humanizing glimpse behind the scenes of the most powerful office in the world during the 1980s. Posing in a military uniform at a private academy in 1964, a young Donald Trump plays the role of a soldier, a striking image that stands in contrast to his later path during the years of the Vietnam War draft. Hidden beneath centuries of thick jungle growth, the ancient ruins of Chichen Itza appear in this 1892 photograph before restoration, revealing the mysterious and skeletal beauty of a Mayan civilization long before it became a global tourist destination. From a stunning aerial perspective in 1966, Muhammad Ali is seen hovering over a defeated Cleveland Williams, a masterpiece of sports photography that perfectly captures the speed, grace, and absolute dominance of the greatest boxer of all time. Before a massive crowd of over 70,000 fans in 1947, the captains of Manchester City and Manchester United shake hands at Main Road, honoring a legendary football rivalry that has defined the spirit of the city for generations. A sea of hopeful feline candidates gathers in 1961 Hollywood for an unusual black cat audition, proving that even the most mysterious animals have to start somewhere if they want to find fame and fortune on the big screen. In a powerful reversal of roles at the end of the Second World War, a liberated Jewish man holds a German soldier at gunpoint, capturing the raw and complicated emotions of a moment where the oppressed finally found justice. Trading the battlefield for the open water in 1960, Che Guevara and Fidel Castro share a quiet moment of camaraderie while fishing, offering a rare look at the just personal bond between two figures who led a revolution in Cuba. The humble essence of a great leader is captured in this 1948 photograph of Mahatma Gandhi's few worldly possessions, reminding us that his true power resided in his philosophy of peace and simplicity rather than in any material wealth. A massive Stratocruiser taxis across a busy Queens underpass in 1951, while curious sightseers park their cars to watch a spectacular image that illustrates the awe-inspiring scale of the early jet age and its integration into daily life. To celebrate the grand opening of the Empire State Building in 1931, daring acrobats performed breathtaking stunts at the very top of the skyscraper, creating a permanent symbol of human ambition and the fearless spirit of a new era. Pele, Maradona, and Platini united in 1988 to promote a message of health and sport, though history would later add a layer of complexity to the image after Maradona's own public struggles with substance abuse were eventually brought to light. Far from the bright lights of the stage, Elvis Presley enjoys a rugged adventure in his dune buggy with his loyal dog in 1968, showcasing the king of rock and roll's lifelong love for speed, sunshine, and his faithful animal companions. In the heart of 1963, Liverpool, a 25-year-old mother of 9, patiently reads a bedtime story to her large family. Aurora capturing a beautiful and exhausting moment of maternal devotion that speaks to the universal power of a mother's love. Surrounded by the tools of a disappearing craft, a devoted father works alongside his son in an early 1900 shoe repair shop, preserving a legacy of hard work and family tradition that helped build the foundations of a community. In the quiet shadows of a 1911 garage, a pioneering driver plugs in their electric car to charge, revealing a sophisticated and eco-friendly vision of transportation that existed long before the modern world returned to the power of the battery. Perched precariously amidst a dizzying web of copper, A brave lineman works on the telephone lines of a Pratt, Kansas intersection in 1911, showcasing the dangerous manual labor required to wire the vast American plains for a new century. Amidst the crumbling brick and damp shadows of Cumberland Street in 1940, the children of Dublin's slums find ways to endure their weary faces, telling a silent story of the deep poverty that once gripped the heart of Ireland's capital. Gazing across the shimmering water toward the rising skyline of Manhattan, an immigrant family waits on the docks of Ellis Island in 1925, their hearts full of the bittersweet hope and trembling fear that defined the American dream. Revolutionizing the classic road trip of the 1920s, a group of adventurous campers enjoys a meal from their innovative tent trailer kitchen, proving that the desire for comfort and good food has always been a part of exploring the wild. In a rare and somber glimpse into the late 19th century, a working-class family from 1880 poses together with a quiet dignity that reflects the hard work and resilient spirit required to survive during the height of the industrial age. Proudly displaying their modest household goods in the Ostis, a dusty yard, a 19th century family stands before their sod house on the Great Plains, embodying the rugged determination of pioneers who built a life out of the very earth they farmed. Through the loving lens of her father, Otto's camera, 5-year-old Anne Frank captures our hearts with a bright and innocent smile, a precious moment of childhood joy preserved forever before the world was changed by the darkness of the war. In one of the final, our photographs taken before his passing in 1977, a legendary Charlie Chaplin rests in the quiet peace of his twilight years, leaving behind a cinematic legacy of laughter and pathos that will never be forgotten by history. Tied to the bumper of a passing car, daring youngsters are pulled through the snowy streets of the Netherlands during the 1930s, capturing a vanished era of winter fun where the only thing faster than the sleds was the adrenaline. Leaning into his luxury 1959 Cadillac Eldorado, Muhammad Ali carefully selects a vinyl record to play on his built-in turntable, showing that the greatest fighter in the world also possessed an incredibly smooth and sophisticated taste for the finer things. In a remarkable moment of animal diplomacy from 1988, Belgrade, a zoo director engages in a tense and face-to-face negotiation with an escaped chimpanzee, ultimately persuading the primate to return home through the power of calm and a mutual respect. Row upon row of focused students fill a classroom in the 1950s, a nostalgic scene of inkwells and chalkboards that represents the disciplined foundation of education for a generation of children growing up in the post-war era of the West. Buried under centuries of earth before its magnificent restoration, the 2,000-year-old theater of Ephesus in Turkey emerges as a haunting testament to ancient engineering, reminding us of the grand, spectacles that once echoed across its massive stone tiers. A lonely strip of pavement stretches through the desert toward a few distant neon lights in 1947, showing a quiet and humble Las Vegas, long before it transformed into the glowing high-rise capital of entertainment that we recognize today. Once a sleepy island with sandy paths and quiet shores, the city of Malé has undergone a staggering transformation since the 1960s, evolving into a dense urban nucleus that stands as a vibrant and modern testament to the Maldives' growth. Adorned in traditional regalia, a Zulu tribesman pulls his employer through the streets of South Africa in a pedicab around 1930, creating a striking and complex image of the cultural and social hierarchies that defined the era of colonial rule. In a breathtaking and rare meteorological event, a dusting of white snow covers the ancient pyramids for the first time, in over a unseed century, creating a surreal landscape where the cold winter sky meets the timeless heat of the desert. High above the New York Harbor in 1984, the Statue of Liberty receives a gleaming new replacement torch, a monumental restoration project that ensured the iconic lady would continue to light the way for millions of seekers of freedom. Walking through the rain-slicked streets of 1956, Niigata local residents navigate a world of traditional architecture and modern change captured in a beautiful moment of post-war Japanese life, where the old ways and new beginnings finally met. Seated beside a glowing stove in 1940 New Mexico, a young boy waits for the simple treat of roasted sweet corn, his peaceful expression capturing the humble and heartwarming pleasures of a rural childhood during a much simpler time. Exuding a timeless elegance in a Kentucky studio, a young woman poses for a formal portrait between 1890 and 1910, her refined fashion and steady gaze offering us a beautiful window into the graceful style of the turn of the century. Rugged miners and locals gather outside the Toll Gate Saloon in 1897, Black Hawk, Colorado, capturing the gritty and unvarnished spirit of the American West during the final years of the great and transformative gold mining boom. Cradled in the arms of his loving parents in 1937, a 2-year-old Elvis Presley looks toward the camera, eyed with wide eyes, unaware that he would one day grow up to become the most iconic and influential voice in music history. Wearing their finest lace and ribbons, two sisters from Nebraska City pose for a charming 1890s portrait, their close bond and innocent faces serving as a sweet reminder of family life on the American frontier at the end of the century. Standing high upon the lush parapet of the Sutro Heights estate in 1903, the Grand Cliff House emerges from the San Francisco mist, a Victorian jewel perched precariously over the crashing Pacific waves as a testament to gilded ambition. In a quiet 1950 cafe, a waitress pauses her chores to watch a baby bear greedily lap honey from a bowl, a surreal yet gentle moment of interspecies kindness that offers a whimsical glimpse into a truly bygone era. Beneath, the frozen jagged peaks surrounding the Chosin Reservoir. In 1950, a weary Marine huddles against the biting Korean wind, his hollow eyes reflecting the sheer physical exhaustion and the heavy psychological weight of a long, desperate retreat. Against the backdrop of a nation marching toward conflict in 1980, an Iraqi couple celebrates their wedding with quiet dignity, their formal attire and hopeful gazes offering a poignant contrast to the looming shadows of a decade of war. In a beautiful display of shared humanity, during the Second World War, a Syrian woman offers warm clothing to arriving Greek refugees, proving that compassion knows no borders when the displaced seek safety upon the ancient dusty shores. Moving through the rain-slicked streets of West Belfast during the 1970s, a young woman volunteer stands on active service for the IRA, her determined expression capturing the intense local fervor and the domestics, reality of a long, bitter struggle. Amidst the jagged ruins of a 1940 London bombing raid, a resilient woman sits calmly among the bricks and dust to drink her tea, a defiant symbol of British resolve that blossomed during the darkest hours of the Blitz. In a famous 1985 encounter in Vaxjö, Sweden, a woman swings her purse with righteous fury at a marching neo-Nazi, an impulsive and legendary act of individual courage that echoes as a powerful strike against the rising tide of hate. Breaking free from the restrictive fashions of 1905 France, a pioneering woman poses confidently in her leather motorcycling gear, her adventurous spirit signaling a bold new era of female mobility and the thrill of the open, dusty road. During the heat of 1964, Florida, a brave woman is violently harassed by white supremacists for her simple presence at a segregated beach, a harrowing scene that exposes the raw, ugly brutality faced by those challenging systemic racism. Perched precariously 600 feet above St. Louis in 1965, a worker sits upon the gateway arch's rising steel leg, a breathtaking display of nerves that helped shape the iconic silhouette of the American West's most famous gateway.